Good morning. It is Friday, April 23rd, and it's Casual Friday, as you can see. Kim's way more dressy than I am, by the way. We were just sitting here talking about how we go to these conferences, or we listen to these speeches, or we find these really empowering quotes. You had something you were reading the other day and retweeting.
Yep, I was retweeting, but I can't remember what it was.
And you read something or you hear something about Earth Day, something empowering, something motivating, and you walk away from it and you're in the middle of something. Maybe you're waiting in line at the grocery store and it's taking longer than it should. Maybe you get a phone call from a family member or a friend and you get concerned or worried, or your teenage boys aren't where they're supposed to be.
That happens. All the time something happens where you find yourself about to forget what you read before that made you feel so good. Something sets you off. Something makes
Life
happens. Yeah, life happens.
Lennon said it.
Yeah, something like that. But things happen and you forget that you felt good when you read something. You felt motivated, inspired, and how do you get back to that point? How do you remember?
You heard something. Maybe it was the last lecture, the gentleman that did the last lecture. Maybe it was, a motivational speaker. Maybe it was Jack Canfield. Maybe it was Wayne Dyer. Whoever it was for you, Michael Beckwith. I mean, there's so many people out there that are trying to create a positive change in our lives. And part of the birth of our company was stemmed around a ripple effect. And it happened to me this week. This is really kind of cool. I heard about the website called 1,000 Things.
1,000 Awesome Things.
That's it. Because there's the Book of Awesome, which is by the same person as the 1,000 Awesome Things. But anyway, I found the website, I was looking at it, and I was like just amazed that somebody, if you read the actual story behind the gentleman that wrote it, it's even more awesome than just going to the website. And I told my daughter, who's 17, and her boyfriend about the Book of Awesome, and the smell of crayons, little babies high-fiving,
underwear right out of the dryer,
being able to go potty after you haven't been able to go for a while. Writing on your hand is one we came up with that we think is awesome. But
I always have it with you.
I then noticed that my daughter started noticing this week awesome things. Her boyfriend started noticing awesome things, and it started to have this ripple effect. And each one of us, it begins with you. It begins with us. If we decide that we're going to take, in every single situation we're in, no matter how scary it seems at the time, we always have a choice. If it's nothing more than the choice of the attitude we approach the situation with. But we always have a choice. And so what we came up with the help of Jessica Field, was jewelry to remind you of that power that you have within you. And I'm trying to find my bracelet that snuck up the sleeve of my thing here. But I'm wearing a piece of our jewelry that has the branches of hope on it. I have the Gratitude necklace on. Kim has created her own configuration because she finds, strength in her health and accomplishment. I don't know if you could see your own neck, so I didn't know if you knew what you were wearing.
I can feel it. I thought it was gratitude. Nope, it's strength. Yeah. Accomplishment. Anyway, when I put it on, I was thinking about these attributes and these things to remember so that when something sets me off, I can just take a deep breath, reach up, remember, you know what? I'm healthy. I can chase after these teenage boys that are somewhere where they shouldn't be. I am strong.
With a bat sometimes, but yes.
Yeah, whatever it takes. I'm strong, and I've accomplished a lot. No matter what happens, I should be proud of my accomplishments. We all should be. Making it just through. Doing more than surviving.
It starts on the inside out. It really does. It's funny because, I try to explain to my teenage daughter that sometimes she says, well, I can't help how I feel. And I'm like, but you can. And I said, because the reality is, if something bad happened and you didn't know it happened, you wouldn't. In some cases, you will as a mother. So I know that there's people out there going, okay, you don't know what you're talking about, because there's the ooga booga stuff. But for the most part, if your friend's bad-mouthing you and you're sitting in your living room, doing homework, you don't know at that moment your friend's bad-mouthing. You have no clue that somebody's out there saying something bad about you. And the things that teenagers face is there's this ego central thing going on where everybody's trying to be more important than the other person, and the way they do it is to put the other person down. And so you can't, once you get that knowledge, what you do with that knowledge is what's important. And I think that a lot of times with teenagers, it's more about realizing that it's not about you. They're not being mean because of you. It's more about what they're going through. And to just understand that it's not about you, and to be who you want to be, regardless of who they are. To be true to yourself. And it carries on into being adults. And I know I've worked in different business settings where I didn't feel that I was receiving the respect that I deserved, or things weren't going the way that I had been told that they were going to go. And I had the power and the choice on how I took that situation. And we all have them.
We do. I mean, it's natural to have a gut reaction to what somebody says, but you can stop and think and maybe remember and just change the course of it, not react, I guess.
Not react. And the reality is when you own it, the minute you own it, and Deepak Chopra did this really cool thing. It was like a 2-minute video. And I wrote it down and I keep it right here. If you own it and you witness what's happened, and you can define it and express it and share it, and then you can release it. And the reality is, if we give whatever bad thing or whatever anxiety we have in our life, if we give that the power, we lose the power to change the situation. If we own it, no matter how bad it is, if we take responsibility for where we are and decide that, okay, I'm going to own this. I'm going to own that, maybe my daughter lied to me about where she was going to be. I'm going to own that maybe I didn't, somewhere along the way I didn't do something right, and I need to learn how to change her behavioral patterns by the way I interact with her. If I own that, then I have some potential to fixing it and correcting it. But if I say there's nothing I can do, then I'm surrendering that my future and my life is outside of my control. So that's, and she's right. I can tell you, if I have a happy thought, I go to it the same way, because it's like, thank you. It's like, thank you for reminding me to be in a state of gratitude, because in every situation, if you're grateful for what you have going on in your life, more good stuff to be grateful for is out there.
And you recognize it. It's always there. You just don't recognize it all the time.
And the more you recognize it, the more it appears. And it's kind of like that car theory, that if you're driving around in a new car, you notice more of those new cars. It's not like everybody went out and bought your car. It's just that that's what's on your mind.
Right.
So this weekend, go out, have a great weekend with an attitude of gratitude. I think we stole that from Jack Canfield in The Secret.
But it works.
Thank you. Thank you for letting us use it. Have a great weekend, and this has been brought to you by The Waves of Gratitude.